Selectmen's meeting. Welcome. I have the minutes from last minute's meeting, and I would like a motion on those if they've been read.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so done. Department head meetings, we have Mr. John Charbonneau, the Director of Planning and Community Development. John?
Good evening. Since I was last here, I alerted the board that we were going to have a meeting on September 10th regarding the Central Oil property. Well, we had that meeting last week. Chairman Shiva was there, I was there, as well as representatives from Mass DEP, Mass Development, and numerous other department heads, including Town Council. And it was a very productive meeting where Mass DEP got a chance to give us how they handle these situations, and Mass Development was able to give us a summary of if we were to someday seek a brownfields redevelopment grant for assessment and remediation. The first step that was decided upon is that Town Council is going to reach out to the property owner and see if we can get some kind of access agreement with the property owner that would allow the town, myself, to apply for a brownfields grant to at least conduct a phase 1 and 2 site assessment to assess the nature and the extent of any possible contamination on the property. So that's the first step. And so if we're successful in doing that, we will, go for a grant. There's no annual or biannual deadline on brownfields grants. It's a rolling deadline. So if and when that time comes, we simply submit an application and it gets considered right away. So that's the first step. See if we can get access. If we don't get access, then we'll potentially take the next step. Also, one item that was spoken about at that meeting as a result of concerns that were expressed to me by Chairman Shivo in recent weeks is the amount of materials being stored up at the Patriot Recycling Facility as part of the Rainham Park site. This morning, in fact, I spoke with Dan Connick at the Lakeville office of Mass DEP in their solid waste division. He did say that they noticed that. They are aware of it. He believes that they may be in violation of their permit and conducted an informal site visit. But someone actually has to go out there and do a formal site assessment to confirm that they are indeed beyond their limit of what they're allowed to store out there, and then Mass DEP will take appropriate action thereafter. So it is on their radar, and they are planning on taking action on that in the near future. Just wanted to remind the Board of Selectmen that the zoning bylaw amendments that you referred to the Planning Board for a public hearing at your last meeting, the public hearings are going to be on October 2nd, Thursday night, October 2nd. And the highlight of that will be the rezoning of the rear piece of 252 Britton Street related to the relocation of B&D Construction. If you notice, they have a sign out there already, very nice sign. And they've received their special permit and abbreviated site plan review for the expansion of that existing structure from the Planning Board and ZBA. So if this zoning bylaw amendment goes through for them, then they will apply for a full site plan review for the remainder of the project sometime this winter. And Marcia, town clerk, forwarded me a letter the other day that the Attorney General has approved the zoning bylaw amendments that were voted at the last town meeting for the beekeeping regulations and the registered marijuana dispensary overlay district.
That's
so
excellent news.
That puts that to rest, so that's official and in the books.
Congratulations, John. Good work.
Thank you. And so now I've been in contact with the Pi Geographics to update the zoning map, and we'll have a new zoning map soon. And once we get that new zoning map, I've been holding off on this until this went through, but we'll get the zoning map on the town website because we have all our other subdivision rules and regs, fees, and zoning bylaws on the website, so I think it's only natural we get the zoning map up there. I've gotten quite a few calls in the year that I've been here asking for that, so I think that would be best if the public could view that on the website. And that's it.
Okay, any questions from the board?
None.
John,
Yes.
you did part of what I was going to do, and I'll just repeat it because it is important that the Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Thursday, October 2nd at 6 p.m., and they will discuss the non-conforming uses and structures issue, site plan approval, and the minimum lot and yard dimensions, as well as temporary signs. Those are the zoning bylaws. So for anybody that is interested, October 2nd at 6 p.m. would be the public hearing. So thank you for opening that up. I would like to make one comment on one of the items you reported on, and that is the Patriot Recycling. I'm glad to hear that Mass DEP is beginning to be more aware through, I think, your efforts, that their permit is clearly in excess. Their actions are in excess of their permit. I don't know how much study DEP needs to make to come to that conclusion, but I feel very much like what Selectman Pacheco said when you were talking the other day and you were recorded as talking about the frustration we have with Massachusetts departments relative to EEE. And this is another example where, you know, you'd like to see a little bit more proactive work on the part of the state with regard to issues that face our town or other towns. And, you know, I worry about the people that are all west of that recycling center with those mountains of dirt. And I drove by there today, and it's not just the wind that creates the dust. The digging, I happened to go by when they were doing digging and the dust was coming across the street. I wonder about the public health issues. Yes. I really, truly do. I mean, there are mountains and mountains of recycling material there. So I hope Mr. Connick takes to heart our concern about the recycling, Patriot Recycling, and their excessive use and abuse of the permit. And I hope that we begin to see DEP follow the law and enforce the law.
And this is not a current issue. This has been an issue in the past.
Yeah, and in the past, we brought it up, and you know, my impression is they've waved their baby finger. Let's see some action. This is way out of control. Every month goes by, there's another mountain of dirt. In fact, I don't think there's much parking lot left.
Unfortunately, at that meeting on the Central Oil property, Dick, you were there, obviously, and you know, the gentleman from Mass DEP, when he was asked directly by one of the department heads, you know, there were numerous attempts at communication with the property owner at Central Oil about the reported contamination release. There was consecutive letters in 2002, 3, and 4 regarding potential contamination spills. And there was one making them aware, then there was a notice of noncompliance, then the year after there was an executive order saying you need to do this, and there was no communication since. And what he told the department heads was that, unfortunately, when a property owner becomes non-responsive like that, Mass DEP sends it to the Attorney General, and he openly admitted that sometimes things fall through the cracks, and the Attorney General then decides what is a priority to follow up on or not. So at a certain time, it seems like Mass DEP passes it off and gives up on it. You know, so it leaves the town in a very helpless position where we don't have the authority to go in and regulate a facility like Patriot Recycling because the permit is with the state. But if the state is not being diligent and their regulations don't have enough teeth behind them, then the town is left in a very weak position. And I wanted to mention something, Dick, that I forgot to mention when I spoke of this. The gentleman did mention to me that anybody who wishes to submit an anonymous complaint, concern, or issue with Mass DEP's Lakeville office can do so by calling the following phone number, and it is area code 508-946-2828. And he let me know that anyone who wishes to, you know, you remain anonymous. If you have a complaint or an issue or concern, you can call the Lakeville office of Mass DEP for any type of potential public health violation such as that, and they will receive that message and hopefully follow up on it. The one last thing I want to mention is in your packets tonight, received these both today, were a couple sets of traffic counts that I had requested through Serpent and also through Mass DOT. One was on Elm Street East, to the east of Route 138, to start keeping an eye on traffic as more development happens at that Lakeshore property in Bridgewater. Serpent actually took it upon themselves. I simply asked for a volume count, but they went ahead and did a configuration that counted also the speed of the cars and also the classification of the cars, how many trucks and cars and things like that. So that's all in that packet with the cover memo, and that was forwarded to the police chief as well. And then the other one was something that I had requested because of all the work that's happened over the years and that continues, looking at the zoning along Route 138 corridor from 495 to the Taunton City line. For the first time, Mass DOT, at my request, they actually put out traffic counting tubes within the last couple of weeks at 5 different stations. north and south of Carver Street, south of Britton Street, south of King Philip, and the Taunton City line. So now we have the entire corridor so we can look at the traffic patterns. And so that's also in your packet as well with a cover memo summarizing the findings of that. So hopefully, we continue to gather information when it comes to things like this, and so we can, get the whole picture when it comes to how much of that project in Bridgewater will affect that traffic and as we move forward on Route 138.
Excellent. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Any questions?
Thank you very much, John.
Thanks again, John.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I see Chief King in the back. Chief, you have something to
No,
say?
I just wanted to give a photo to Marie.
Okay. You want to do that now or later?
Thank
Yeah. He's got a photo for you, Marie.
He has a photo for me.
Where the Sergeant Major of the Army was at the school on Friday, and he addressed the
Yep.
junior class. He's also a graduate of BR.
That's right. Yep.
And they had six members of that class were there at the meeting.
Excellent.
One is our athletic director and fire chief and the deputy fire chief of
Deputy
the
fire chief.
Bridgewater Fire Department.
Yep. They're all classmates.
Thank you, Marie, for representing us and being present. Thank you, Chief.
You're very welcome.
Mike, do you have something, or are you all set? Are you okay? Good.
For the meetings.
Okay, you enjoyed the meeting, huh? Okay. So, we
Thank you,
have...
Peter.
Yep, yep. No appointments, no public hearings, any new business?
None?
Completion of old business?
None.
Town administrators report.
Capital Planning Committee meets tomorrow night with a few more department heads to review their requests. Other articles for the special town meeting are due this Friday, and I should have articles and a draft within 2 weeks of the town meeting, special town meeting warrant. On the animal inspector, we need someone to fill in for 6 months. Current animal inspector, she's been there quite a while, but she's incapacitated due to surgery. Basically, it's inspecting barns. In the fall is when the barns are inspected and reported to the state. So I'm not sure if our assistant ACOs would be qualified. If not, maybe we can find somebody else who's interested, or tap into Taunton, local surrounding community. So our new building commission has a quote for the 2 teardowns of dilapidated and dangerous buildings in town. We may have to be required to seek a couple more, but we're on the way, and so we should be able to proceed shortly with those teardowns. Upcoming negotiations with public safety dispatches tomorrow, and department head meeting on Thursday.
Any questions, comments? I would think that one of the 2 assistant ACOs might at least be approached. I don't know what the qualifications are for the animal inspector, but it'd certainly be worth a try. Selectmen's report, any?
No,
None?
oh, Peter reported for me.
Okay, good enough. Correspondence, let's see what we have here. Correspondence. The Colonial Road Runners Club has tentatively set Sunday, December 14th as the date for the 2nd annual Frosty Half Marathon, and seek our permission for the event. I would recommend that we forward this to the chief to be sure that everything's in order.
Yeah, I would motion to approve pending
Second.
the chief's approval.
Okay?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Greater Taunton Charitable Association, we are requesting a permit for our 10th annual Stuff the Bus Thanksgiving food donation event at the Market Basket on Route 138 on Saturday, November 22nd, and Sunday, the 23rd. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Yeah? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
One other here. Let's see what we have here. Take A. Name of the organization is Living Word World Outreach Church, and they're requesting dates of October 9 and 16. The contact is Melissa Dyer.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That completes the correspondence, and we do have a press person here. Any?
Not this time.
Okay, okay, good. Any emergency business?
None.
None?
Seeing no citizen and community input, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, sign the bills, no business thereafter.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Thanks,
Okay.
Mark.